Hi, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Targeted Individual Experience. I was watching this YouTube channel called Earn Your Leisure. Very intelligent brother, very intelligent black man, um, younger black man. One thing I love about his channel is that he talks about a whole range of subjects. In this interview, he's interviewing a young woman who, had a troubled background, but she went into the military. And I want you to listen. She was serving under a four-star general, okay? And I want you to listen to what she's saying. And as I talked about, right, how they hide things from the general public, particularly from we as black people, because we, again, it's not our fault because they lock us out of certain industries, certain you know, careers, and there's a reason why they do that. So I want you to listen to what she's saying, and also as a TI, all right, I want you to understand that again, these we know as TIs that these technologies are not new, because I've been a TI for over 2 decades. I have a twin brother who's been a TI for over 3 decades. There are others that people who have been TIs for 4 or 5 decades. Okay, these things are not new, and they always use and select people within the general public to engage in non-consensual human experimentation so that they can advance these technologies, and also learning how to weaponize these technologies in the public sphere. Take a listen.
Operations for U.S., for ISAF, and for NATO forces. So the two-star general I was working under ended up becoming the four-star general over all special operations for the whole military. And so for me, that time in Afghanistan and what I saw did two things for me. One, it showed me the power of storytelling. When you work in those top secret cleared environments, you see how they get to decide what stories the public gets to hear. You see how they can hop on the phone with the New York Times and say, you can't run that story, it's national security, or you have to run it this way. Or they let stories run that they know are false. Right. Because then they got the proof, so at any point they could debunk it, but they want to go do something they don't want the media to pay attention to. So it really showed me the importance of storytelling, the stories we tell ourselves, and the way that stories we get fed are edited, and that the truth is always put in places that may be harder for us, especially as people of color, to reach.
Okay. Again, what she is saying is how things are manipulated. Stories are manipulated. What we see on television, a lot of stuff you see on social media are manipulated. Even when you see these, particularly these guys or these girls, young guys and young girls, you know, in front of big mansion, or they may have, you might see them taking pictures in front of a private jet or inside a private jet as if it's theirs, and it's not. They're doing this so that they can sell you lies, just as how as we as TIs they try to create certain narrative about us which are lies. But here's the thing: as a TI, we understand the technology is being used. We understand how people can be manipulated and people be in control. I'm not sure if I mentioned this. I might have mentioned it, but it might have been one of the videos that I took when I was on my way home. That when they hacked into my phone, so I couldn't save the recording. But I was talking to yesterday. I was helping my daughter do her homework, and I had her. I said to her, you know, because she had to write sentence. So she started writing. I said, no. I said, first of all, you need to put your name, your class, right, and the date. Okay. So these are two things. These are things you need to do. Name, your class, what class you're in, your school, and the date, right? She says, no, we don't have to do that because our teacher said we don't need to do that. I said, what do you mean? She's like, no, she said the teacher said we're only supposed to put our class and our number. I'm like, what number? She's like, we all have a number. And she was like, my number is number 7. And I'm like, what is going on here? Is this is what they're doing to these kids in the public school, or are they just doing it to kids that are in predominantly schools that have predominantly black and Hispanic children? Okay, so they're doing things in which, again, as parents, we're not being told. Okay. All right, so when my daughter tells me that, I said, you know what, I got to go speak to her teacher and find out what's going on. But again, these are manipulative psyops that they engage in, not just on just us as TIs, but also on the public, also in education, our kids. Okay? This is why our children can't read or write. I should say, not, this is part of the reason why our children can't read or write. When you have educators who are just, they don't have that passion, that care, right? They have an agenda, all right? Just like, military and war. They have an agenda. They want to sell you a false story. They want to, indoctrinate you to, and to emotionally manipulate you also. All right. So, like I said, it's it is something that is happening, and we need to pay attention to these things.
The second thing that I saw is the power of technology. I mean, I was touching artificial intelligence in 2012. Things that, commercially still aren't available. Yeah. They say, oh, we're trying to get.
So like I said, also the military, I've said this, is at least a decade to 2 decade and a half to 2 decades in terms of development of technology. So artificial intelligence. So for her to say, she says she had working with artificial intelligence since 2012. Just go back even further. Okay, when I was targeted, right, when I became a target individual, they had already had some form of artificial intelligence. If you're a TI, a target individual, you're a microchip, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? And from the time I've been targeted from up till this day, I have gauged the progress in terms of they have made, meaning that they basically can download your entire consciousness. All right. Not only that, but they can identify your entire consciousness. Okay. So imagine walking to an airport, being scanned, right? And they can identify you just by your consciousness, not just your face, but your conscious mind. Okay.
Like, how you trying to get to where we already were in 2012? Like, y'all haven't touched that. And so it really showed me that technology is the magic of our generation. Like, if they can use these tools to decide who lives and who dies in a war, and to even cover up the mistakes they made when they hurt innocent people, right? Then why can't it be used to make sure that kids like me have food on the table every night?
That's right. Good question, And I was talking to somebody and I said, they have money that they can give tens of billions of dollars to private army, mercenaries owned and run by white men, okay? But yet they can't fund the schools. Yet they're talking about the social programs is bankrupting America, which is a lie. And it's a lie they continue to perpetuate and say over and over again. And the vast majority of people in America believe it. Okay? They believe it. Despite the fact that we know that corporations get hundreds of billions of dollars a year in subsidies. Sometimes even cash. Look at the bailout. The bailout with the car, American car manufacturer, with the banks. Okay? We got to wake up and open our eyes. Right? We got to open our mind's eye, I should say. Right? Start looking at the truth. Start reading more. Right? Stop living by your anecdotal experience. Not living by, but stop talking about your annual experience as if it's the norm. It is not the norm. That's just your experience and the experience of the people that you know that is within your bubble. Okay? America is a big place. The world is a big place. Right? Your 25 friends, 50 friends, whatever, 100 friends is nothing compared to the hundreds of millions of people in America. Or to the, you know, 8 million people living in your city. All right? Or your 20 something million people living in your state. You know, we have to, again, start learning the truth, accepting the truth. Because only when you've learned the truth and accept the truth is when you're going to have that conscious mind, that conscious elevation that will take you out of that programming that they've done to you. All right. Talk to you guys in the next video.